Welcome to the Indie Corner. We talk about all things independent comics. I'm Mikey,
I'm Matt.
I'm Rebecca.
and today people are back at again with another episode of the Indie Corner podcast, where we're going to be continuing our Transformers More Than Meets the Eye series. But this time we're covering Volume 4, which is going to be issues 12 to 16. So yeah, we're just going to get right into it, and I'm excited because I read most of this time. I didn't read. I'm missing like most of it. Okay, yeah, clap for me, please, because
Partial credit.
I don't like reading, but I like this one. This one was a lot. This one was so funny. But yeah, so we'll just get right into it. Rebecca, all right, take the wheel.
All right, if you'll bring up my slides, please.
Word.
All right, so More Than Meets the Eye number 12. We got two artists on this. One is doing the before art and one is doing the after art. And if you read the issue, that'll make sense to you.
Right.
This story is told out of order. So I went through and put it in order for the purposes of being cohesive and not skipping constantly back and forth.
You know what? Let's get into that, because I struggled with this issue because they use like those little timestamps in like the corner, which is like in very small type, and it's very hard to tell. And like it was weird. So like I kept getting confused throughout the whole thing. So yeah, and I also couldn't tell that the artists were different. They looked the same. So
yeah, I couldn't really tell a difference. I'm not sure if it was like the same pencils and just different inkers or like what.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently there were two different guys on this.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that the non-linear storytelling was really fun, but it did make it extremely difficult to follow, especially when these books are already kind of difficult for me to follow.
Yeah,
when they're in order. So, but I love the idea. I thought it was super fun.
It was fun, but it was a lot. And also to quote Matt when we did Invincible, there's so much dialogue in this. Like there's a lot of it. So it's like so many. I was reading.
It's a lot of text.
But I like the writing in this series just in general a lot. But I'm sure we'll talk about that as we go on.
Yeah, Swerve's a crackhead, and we'll get into that. But yeah.
All right. So like I said, here's the story in order. Some of the like twists and turns might be a little ruined because of that, but hopefully this makes you understand what actually happened.
Right.
So we begin our story 99 minutes and 24 seconds before something. Everyone is packed on board the Lost Light scout ship, which is called the Leading Light. Once he's able to talk over all that yelling, Rodimus briefs the crew that they're headed to a sovereign territory that's been taken over by Decepticons who may or may not have kidnapped the Circle of Light, which was the group they were looking for in the last volume.
Mm-hmm.
Checking in with some of our other characters, Tailgate is telling Swerve that he hates waiting, that when he was in the Primal Vanguard, don't know what that is exactly. I'm just going to assume it's some impressive army unit. They just have to go right in and crush the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Chrome Dome and Rewind are bickering because Rewind is tagging along to the battle, even though he promised he wouldn't, which, as Rewind points out, is hypocritical since Chrome Dome broke his promise to not mess with people's memories anymore. And then Whirl comes in telling Rewind to film him limbering up before he lands on sovereign soil and starts killing for the greater good.
I love Whirl so much.
So eventually they land on the planet and fighting ensues. As the battle's raging, Rewind and Tailgate discover that people are being held prisoner by the Decepticons. Not the Circle of Light, but an alien race native to the planet, and their bodies are being harvested to create fuel.
Question. Okay. I have a question. Because that page you got here, that top, is that like a random Dinobot that just exists? It's just no one significant?
I have no idea who this is supposed to be. Yeah. But there are so many Transformers that turn into like dinosaur or dinosaur adjacent things. So I have no idea.
All right, I was just curious.
So this is not the Circle of Light.
No, I guess these are just some like random aliens who are hostage here.
Okay, and they're like fleshy aliens. They're not robots.
Yeah, they're fleshies.
Yeah, fleshies. Yeah.
All right. We good for now?
Yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, they can't save the hostages right away because there's a giant bomb wired to the door, and they can't get to them without disarming it. However, Tailgate points out that his arm does have bomb disposal written on it and claims to be an expert at this. So, talking with Rewind, Tailgate begins to drain the explosive fluid out of the bomb, but looks increasingly panicked and warns Rewind that he might want to back up a little bit. Not far from there, Whirl, Cyclonus, and Swerve are fighting. Swerve runs out of ammo and gets Whirl to pass him a gun called the Schumer.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, as Swerve goes to pick it up, he shooms himself in the face.
I said this before we started. I was at work when I read this, and there was a moment where I read this part. I chuckled so loud, and my boss looked at me like I was crazy. I died, and this is karma. This is karma for what Swerve did to fucking Rung. I loved it so much.
He just can't stop getting headshots, man.
Hilarious.
He's just too good. He's too good for
too
his
good,
own thing.
man. He's too good with the headshots.
Perfect aim at all the wrong moments.
That's right.
All right, so with 1 minute and 19 seconds left on our countdown, Whirl and Cyclonus have managed to clear the room of enemies. Whirl says this is a good time for them to start over, but Cyclonus is like, we're not friends. Don't act like we're friends. I'm still going to kill you one day.
Yeah, I just thought of a question now. So they're fighting Decepticons.
Yes.
Does Cyclonus still not consider himself to be a Decepticon?
No, throughout like the book, he will like make a point that he is not a Decepticon. But he's just like an ex-bad guy, but he does not affiliate with them.
But I feel like he still has his like his isms, you know, like he'll still have his like Decepticon moments, like always threatening, always reminding World that he's going to kill him one day.
Yeah, like I said, he's still an ex-bad guy. He just doesn't want to associate with Decepticons.
I guess it makes sense.
All right, so Rewind comes running for help. Tailgate triggered a timer on the bomb that has 30 seconds till it blows, but won't leave until the bomb is completely drained, even though the blast radiance probably wouldn't hurt the hostages anymore. So with 20 seconds left, Cyclonus grabs him and yeets him out of the room. This gives Whirl a great opportunity to lock the door, leaving Cyclonus and Rewind trapped in there with the bomb.
Oh my god, I love this. This is what cemented Swerve and Whirl to be my favorite fucking characters. Swerve almost fucking killed himself, and then freaking Whirl was like, you know what? Remember that time you threatened my life twice? Oh yeah, I'm gonna remember that. Just trap this man and put him into the bomb. It's hilarious, man.
Isn't it funny when your actions have consequences?
Exactly. It's hilarious when they do, you know, because that rarely happens.
Anyway, with no time left, the two are stuck in there as there's an explosion. So 15 minutes later, everyone's back on the scouting ship. We see Rewind isn't looking so good, and neither is Swerve.
I love it. It's like, Swerve, why the fuck are you just sitting down, man? Get up here. You just see that he doesn't have a fucking face.
But he's going through it.
It is gold, bro.
About an hour after the explosion, First Aid comes by with some bad news. As Rewind's husband, significant other, whatever you want to call him, he has to make a choice to leave Rewind alone and hope he bounces back, or try First Aid's risky jump-starting technique, like we saw back in Volume 2 with Fort Max, using himself as a battery, basically. Chrome Dome, of course, agrees to try this.
So Chrome Dome and Rewind are married?
They don't really. Do they say like?
They don't. They use their like sci-fi bullshit words to describe it, you know. But for all intents and purposes, and it says here, it's his significant other.
They're space married.
They're space married.
They're space married.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Right. At the same time, we see Tailgate dragging Cyclonus into the med bay, begging for help as well. As they're waiting for updates, Chrome Dome and Tailgate start to talk. When Tailgate notices the table of strange vials, according to Chrome Dome, they contain innermost energon. It's the one thing in their bodies that never gets replaced or changed over time, and offering someone a portion shows that you care about them very deeply. Chrome Dome, however, mentions that he was born dry, meaning he doesn't have any.
Okay.
It's all so weird. So weird.
Tailgate asks how he and Rewind met and became best friends. Chrome Dome says he's not Rewind's best friend. That title belongs to a guy named Dominus Ambus. He was essentially a civil rights activist. However, after the war started, he went missing, never to be seen again. I don't know if I need to put a trigger warning here, but I guess trigger warning here. So, we rewind in Chrome Dome's meet cute moment was Chrome Dome went to an assisted suicide clinic to, die.
Yeah.
But while he was there, he met Rewind, who wasn't suicidal but was looking through any possible means to find his friend.
Mhm.
This is also why Rewind watches Snuff and wanted to go in the Lost Light to try and find his friends. Anyway, after seeing Rewind suffer but be able to carry on, that snapped Chrome Dome out of his suicidal thoughts, and somehow along the way they fell in love.
That's so bad. Like, that's so bad, man. It's so dark. Also,
Yeah.
you want to acknowledge the fact that freaking I think Rewind transformed to a memory stick. Can we talk about that?
I mean, we can talk about that. He used to turn into a cassette, so I guess they had to update it.
That's dumb.
Interesting.
Like it's
they mentioned, I don't remember if it was in this issue or not, that his alt form is outdated and useless. So
Yes.
they literally said that they back then they would call people who transform to that outdated but in modern terms you would call them slaves, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they mentioned that in the book as well.
Yeah. So that's a little dark, but all right.
Yeah, in case you haven't picked it up, I know there's a lot of dark things going on in this book.
Yeah.
All right. So First Aid comes into the room. Unfortunately, the jumpstart failed, even though Chrome Dome and him should have been compatible. But First Aid says he'll try to put the word out in case someone else can help.
Mm-hmm.
As he's sulking in his room over the news, an unknown person says through the door that Chrome Dome should come to the basement and they could be rid of the Decepticons and this could never happen to anyone else again. However, this is interrupted by another call from First Aid. This time it's good news. Whirl volunteered and he's able to save Rewind. Elsewhere in the med bay, Tailgate tries to leave a vial with Cyclonus, but he grabs his arm, causing the bottle to fall and shatter. Cyclonus tells Tailgate they aren't friends. He doesn't care about what he has to say, and he thinks Tailgate is pathetic.
But he doesn't mean it.
But as he's about to leave, he has a change of heart and goes back to help Tailgate clean up the mess. And that's how we chronologically end this issue. The end.
Yeah, that was so much better actually in chronological order,
It made more sense. I followed the story.
Yeah, I followed it a lot better than I did the first time. So
yeah. Well, like I said, it's more in there just for the twists and turns. Like when you see Swerve's face shut off, you don't realize at first that he did that to himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't it's so funny.
I love the relationship between Cyclonus and Tailgate.
It's nice.
Very fun. It's so fun.
He's a dickhead. Like Cyclonus is a dickhead, but he's a lovable dickhead.
But he cares about
low key cares. Low key.
He does.
Yeah, there's a heart behind all that angst.
Yeah, I like that.
This was really fun. Yeah, the out of the chronological order of it all made it a lot more I get where they were going with it. It was supposed to be a very how did this happen? Read the next page to find out because we're gonna explain it later. And it's fun. It's fun, but having it be read in order is a lot easier. So I do love even though I don't like how the relationship started, I do like Chrome Dome and Rewind. That stuff was really cool. Fucking Whirl, bro. Whirl's such a crackhead, and I love it. They're, Swerve and Whirl are the best characters in this book, besides Drift. It's just they're so funny. They're because Whirl is just, I love him. He's just he's so great. Yeah, this was fun. I really liked it a lot. And
so they fight Decepticons in this issue. They just call them Decepticons. Is the idea that they're a group of radicals who don't acknowledge the war is over? They don't really talk about that. But
I don't think it's that important. It's more just giving them someone to fight here.
Yeah. That's how I felt
we don't get any names for the. Well, I think we get names.
We do, but they don't matter because they're lame. They're lame names.
Yeah. So. We're not going to see the Decepticons in here again. It's just a one-off.
That makes sense. I don't. I thought the idea was that because the war was over, Autobots and Decepticons aren't really a thing anymore. Except, yes, they are.
Well, they're not like officially it's over, but you know,
Sure.
But is it
real life
really
when you end
over?
a war, it doesn't just end.
Yeah, is
Right.
it really over though? Like that's the thing.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this was good. But again, yeah, we'll talk about this. The art real fast. It's good. Again, Alex Milne does a good job, and I couldn't tell that the flashbacks weren't done by him because I don't know, their styles were pretty similar, or maybe it seemed like
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if it was a case of like one person penciling and then two people inking or what. I just pulled this from the wiki.
Yeah, no, it's pencils by ink before. Yeah, no, what's this called? Yeah, Attilo did it. I think Attilo did the pencils and Alex Milne did the ink. So, when with the before sequences, from what I'm reading with the credits. So,
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, this was fun. I'm gonna when I make a clip, there's gonna be a joke. There's gonna be a joke about Swerve shooting himself in the head in this. There has to be. That's the favorite moment in this fucking book. It's so funny.
That's gonna be your one takeaway from this volume.
Yes, he doesn't miss even when it's himself. Okay. All right. Moving on.
Moving on to issue 13. This one is by a different artist.
Yeah. Another great issue. I read this one and I loved it.
I'll talk about this later, but I really like this issue. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the art's a really good change. I think this artist, it's a lot more of a cartoonier style, and
for sure.
And I ought to really work here because it's a lot more lighthearted, fun issue. So yeah.
So this issue is framed as like Swerve telling a story to someone else.
Crackhead.
It begins when he, Drift, and some other guy who I don't know who he is, but he's just a background character, so he's not really important. He's screaming outside of Cyclonus and Tailgate's room. So Drift busts the door down, ready to fight, and Tailgate's like, hold up, everything's okay. That was just Cyclonus singing. To which Cyclonus, who's not brooding for once, is like, hell yeah, that was me. And Tailgate's like, wow, heart eyes over here. Like, isn't he dreaming? And everyone's just kind of like, and that's that scene. That it's just there.
I think they said that because Cyclonus and Tailgate are around the same age, or like 6 million years old. So they speak a Cybertronian dialect that's kind of dead now. So that's kind of what they were doing. That's what he was doing here.
I think so. Something along those lines.
Gotcha. So gay. Yeah, it's very gay.
I mean, yeah, but anyway. So then Swerve, Drift, and Rodimus are all hanging out when Ultra Madness comes barging in, yelling about all the rules and protocols being broken on the ship. He's fed up to the point where he's been throwing offenders in the brig with actual prisoners they have on board from last issue.
He has no chill. That got me dying. I thought that was hilarious.
He's so great. I love him so much.
This is a great Ultra Magnus issue.
It is.
I'll continue. Rodimus tells him he needs to relax, and since they're close to a planet, they should take a break, and a certain bot who wants a bar license can show him the sights. So Swerve gets his posse together, and Whirl, Cyclonus, and Ultra Magnus are also there, and they head for the planet. Rodimus mentions they have a lot of tourist spots for organics, so they'll have to send their human avatars ahead to scout out the place, and also be back in time to catch the shuttle at sunrise. Tailgate and Swerve get talking. Throughout this issue, Swerve has been trying to find a roommate, and so far Drift and Tailgate have both said no. Then Swerve starts talking to Tailgate about Blur, who's a famous racer he claims to be friends with. And when he starts listing the racer's time, Ultra Magnus butts in at the sound of statistics, only to notice one of the ribbons in the ship is a little off.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
So as they land and make it to the bar, we see everyone's human designs. Yeah. It's kind of giving the one episode of SpongeBob where they go to land for the first time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Literally the only design I like out of these is Worlds.
Worlds is the best. I laughed so hard. I was like, yo, this man is a crackhead. Even his hologram shows how much of a crackhead he is.
But Rung's human name is Mary Sue. That's very clever. I was gonna say funny.
It's a
not
little
funny,
too on the
but
nose, I think.
And the fact that yeah, like, hey, where's Tailgate at? Where's his hologram form? He's a fucking baby. It's so funny. Like, it's just this dumb humor at its finest. It's great.
And okay, so they imply that who was that? Ultra Magnus's, I think, is
Yeah.
somebody. They're like,
this is a character from
you
like
know. I don't know
previous
who this
books.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sorry.
if you've read like the stuff we skipped, like she's one of the characters in it. So it's just a little nod to that.
What's her name?
But the character's name is, I think, Verity
Sam
Carlo or
Witwicky.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, Sam Witwicky. Yeah.
Oh, Sam Witwicky. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know
Don't
Sam
let Mikey lie to you.
Yeah, Sam Witwicky. That's what's his name. That's what his name is. But yeah, no, I think the designs, like, they did a good job of like making like the human forms like fit their personalities. I don't know. I'm not really sure how.
I do
Tailgate
not
does.
think Skids would look like Doctor Who, but we are not going to.
Yeah, but rungs make sense. Like rungs make sense. Whirls make sense. Like, it's just, I think it's
Whirl is
fun.
all
They
that
did a good job.
matters.
Yeah, but like how does this work? Because last time I remember this happening was when Ratchet did it to distract.
I don't know how it works. It's just something they throw in for fan service. Okay.
Because are they just projecting this at like on a remote location? Are they actually Autobots?
I think that's supposed to be the implication, but it doesn't really make sense. You just got to go with it. Okay.
Because like, how funny would it be if they like actually like they like hologram themselves to look human, but like when they walk, they still stomp around like Transfomers? Yeah, like.
No, I think they're like hard light projections. I think the idea is that they're also what's used where they're in car form to make it look like there's a human driving them.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But that's kind of an assumption I made.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter because after these pages, they're like gone.
Yeah.
So now that they're back in robot mode, everyone's sitting around drinking. Ultra Magnus seems a little too normal for a guy taking shots, and Swerve's like, well, you got to turn off the part of your brain that lets you get drunk.
Nah, it's called willpower. What are you talking about?
Well, whatever you want to call it, Ultra Magnus is like, okay, fine. And then immediately passes out. So everyone thinks he might be dead for a minute, but once they hear the equivalent of heartbeat, they move him to a table. 2 hours later, Magnus still isn't awake, so they're just sitting around talking about who their personal nemesis are, but you can't pick Megatron. That's like the rule of the game.
It's really fun.
And as soon as Magnus starts to show signs of life, everyone abandons him with Swerve.
So funny.
Now that he's awake, Magnus is like, coming on this quest was a mistake. I was supposed to be someone. Everybody likes Swerve, but no one likes me. Swerve says he's cool. He's just too work focused. And Magnus is like, well, I like other things too. And Swerve's like, what? He's like, music. And he's like, what kind of music? Like, music. And then he berates Swerve for not wearing his Autobot badge and not getting a replacement before downing another glass and passing out again. Finally, Swerve mentions that people don't like him. They just laugh at his jokes.
And I was like, aw. A little bit. That's kind of sad. That's a little sad.
You felt that a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
This issue's a little sad for Swerve across the board.
It is. Even though he did shoot himself in the face, but I mean,
he got better.
And people that shoot themselves in the face can still be sad sometimes.
So as the rest of the gang slowly comes back from the gift shop they left for, they start talking about the Arc 1, which was the ship that Cyclonus was on. And Rewind says he has footage from that launch where they show off the full crew, but before he can play it, Cyclonus rages and starts to cause a scene. Tailgate says he'll calm him down, and the rest of the party realizes they only have 20 minutes to get back to the shuttle. So Whirl comes up with a plan. He's going to helicopter everyone back to the ship, and then they'll use their human avatars to retrieve Ultra Magnus. But how, you ask? Well, there's this urban myth that if you drop a Cybertronian on the ground repeatedly, it will make them transform. So they try it, but it doesn't work. So plan B, they start jumping on him, and this time they can actually hear parts beginning to move. Unfortunately, he transforms upside down.
What is even true? I couldn't figure this out. It was like a big ass truck. Okay, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's a big truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, eventually they managed to flip him over and drive him back to the ship. That's the end of Swerve's story, but we do get a glimpse of what happened back with Tailgate and Cyclonus at the bar. So Cyclonus sits Tailgate down and is like, I know you're a liar. I was on the Ark, and there was never a Tailgate who was supposed to be on board. And Tailgate's like, okay, you got me. I'm a giant fraud. I wasn't in bomb disposal. I was in waste disposal. I wasn't in the Primal Vanguard. I've just been like faking it till I make it. Tailgate realizes this meant Cyclonus' outburst was done to protect his secret, but Cyclonus thinks he's an idiot for lying. Tailgate says he's worse than an idiot. He's a nobody. When he fell, he should have been found in days, but either nobody noticed he was gone or nobody cared. This starts to trigger a panic attack, but Cyclonus calms him down by teaching him a song.
Yeah.
Back with Swerve in the present day, he's finally wrapped up his message, but it's not going through. Turns out Blur, who this message is for, the guy Swerve idolizes and thought he was going to open a bar with, gave him his fake number.
Yeah, he was never his friend at all. He met him one time and bothered him for a while, and Blur gave him a fake number to get rid of him. This whole time, Swerve thought he was genuine and thought that Blur was really his friend, and he's super... I doubt Blur remembers who Swerve is.
He probably doesn't. Like, it's so... Man, rip, man. That's so bad.
Yeah, I feel bad for Swerve.
Yeah, to end our issue, Ultra Magnus gives Swerve a replacement Autobot badge, and just when it seems like the two might have found friends in one another, Ultra Magnus reprimands Swerve for not addressing him by his full name and leaves. The end. So not a great Swerve issue.
No,
but I do really like this issue.
What's it called? Ultra Magnus. Okay, I know y'all have been raving about how much you love Ultra Magnus. I thought it was cool. I never really thought it was like amazing or anything. But this was the issue. I was like, no, Ultra Magnus.
Too much of a Swerve guy to get it.
Yeah, it was Ultra Magnus. Was this a fun Ultra Magnus issue? Like he you gotta get Ultra Magnus super drunk, let him confess all the things that like he regrets and shit. It's so fucking funny. Like,
the way he passes out after one drink, he's just like me for real.
He's like Taylor. Shout out to Taylor out here in these streets.
He's so great. Ultra Magnus is no fun at all, and that's so much fun.
Yeah. But this issue was really fun. It was just a fucking Transformers go on vacation. I thought it was so funny and so much fun. Yeah,
it's a nice like refresher, I guess. Like a nice happy issue before we get dark again.
Yeah, it's a nice little breather. It's a nice little breather from like the darkness and shit. And it's nice. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, the urban myth about if you drop a Transformer multiple times, they'll transform.
The first time I read this, when they got him to transform and it was upside down, I laughed so hard.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's fucking hilarious, man. I just I think what made my laugh so hard moment was fucking seeing World's human hard like construct form. I fucking died. I was like, I even described it to my coworker when I was reading it, and she was like, "That is the funniest fucking thing ever." Like, he's the Deadpool of this book. It makes sense.
But, yeah, like I said, I feel like that's the only one that really fits, but it goes kind of hard.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and also I love the cartoony artwork because it just fits more with the lighter tone of this issue. Yeah. But I think this is the last time we see this artist. I think it changes in the next issue. So
yeah, I think it was just a guest artist for this one issue.
Yeah.
That's a shame because I'm a really big fan of it.
Yeah, I love the way Drift is drawn in this. I love it so much. I think it's so good. But it's okay. He did a good job. That's all that matters.
All right, ready to move on to next issue?
No, I'm just kidding. All right, next issue.
Yeah, let's get back to the sad stuff.
Yeah. All right, yeah, back to dark and depressing. We got issue 14.
Yeah, first off, look at this cover. The hell, this made me uncomfortable. I was like, this is too spooky for me, man. We just had a lighthearted issue. Now we're going back to like angst and darkness and sadness, and like it's too much.
All right, so we begin our story 4.2 million years ago on the moon Luna 2. A couple of miners find a green spark, which is very rare and referred to as a 0.1%er. The guy that gets called down to check it out gives the miner's boss an exception to change into whatever job he wants to have and tells the miners who found it that they only have 6 hours to live. Fast forward 4.2 million years, we see Overlord reliving the events of the miniseries Last Stand of the Wreckers. However, there's something different here, the presence of Chrome Dome. And he's shown up basically to tell Overlord that he's going to get defeated here and that also he's in his memories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Overlord. Cool. Wait, do you have something to say?
No, I said that was cool.
Oh. Overlord basically just wants to die, but Chrome Dome's like, you're stuck restrained in our ship's basement, and I'm not going to kill you, so time to take a little trip down memory lane. So we see that Overlord was always a powerful guy, but there was one person he could never beat, Megatron.
Ooh.
Is this one of the issues you actually got around to reading, Mikey, out of curiosity?
I read half of it.
Oh, dude, you should, after this, you should read this issue. I love this issue.
Okay, word. I'll listen. I'll get to it after.
Yeah, so spoilers for Mikey, I guess.
Oh, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me.
Right, so flash to a different memory. Megatron and Shockwave are running an experiment on Overlord to upgrade him. Essentially, they do the same thing to him that Weapon X did to Wolverine, but with more weird pregnancy analogies.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, funny enough, is like something that happens in multiple different Transformers books, and it's as weird every time.
Interesting.
But anyway, as they're going through this memory, Chrome Dome lets slip that Megatron is still alive out there somewhere, which piques Overlord's interest.
Okay, hold on. I want to say this real quick, because when I was reading this, when I did read most of it, like as much as I read this issue, I fucking love the way Megatron is fucking drawn. It looks so good. It looks so good because I love this design. I love the G1 design of Megatron and like the detail. Oh my god, the detail, bro! It's so good. Yeah, that page is it's one of my favorite pages. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, Megatron looks cool in this comic.
Does he turn into a gun in this too, or no?
We will talk about that a little. At one point, he turned into a gun.
Okay, thank God, because that's my favorite thing about Megatron G1. I love that he just turned into a fucking gun for no reason. It's so great.
All right, anyway, as I was saying, once the memory ends, Chrome Dome begins to leave, but Overlord remembers where he's seen Chrome Dome before. Cut to a different memory, Overlord and some other Decepticons are launching an assault on an Autobot base rumored to be the new Institute, and this freaks Chrome Dome out. In that memory, Overlord busts down the door and rescues Soundwave, who was being experimented on. Additionally, he shot Chrome Dome and took the other guy working there as a souvenir.
Soundwave.
As Chrome Dome is bleeding out on the floor, we see a pre-crazy Pharma rescue him. However, Chrome Dome realizes Overlord wasn't in the room for this, so this couldn't have been one of his memories. So, surprise, Overlord's pull to reverse Uno card is now poking around Chrome Dome's memories.
Yeah, it's so good. I love this shit.
What a twist.
Cut to a different memory shortly before the events of the series. Prowl and Chrome Dome are talking, and Prowl's like, you ever notice how the biggest and strongest guys are all Decepticons? That's not fair. I want like a big guy. So we need to go into Overlord's mind and figure out how they make him, because he won't talk. So of course, Chrome Dome's like, absolutely not. Besides, we're at peace, and doing that could kill me. And Prowl, who's the worst, is like, okay, fine, but it'd be a shame if your partner found out how much of a war criminal you are. and then Chrome Dome, which is kind of iconic for this, jumps him and erases his memories of the threat and all the info he had that let him make that threat in the first place. And with that done, he ends up leaving the place, telling Prowl that he'll think about it.
Do we... and my apologies if you literally just said this. Do we know what exactly he's holding over Chrome Dome's head? What war crimes he committed?
Probably just that he was like, helping like brainwash people for the Autobots.
Okay, got it.
That would do it.
I mean, it's more implied in this issue, but after everything we read,
Right.
That's kind of the dumbest thing you could do, is to threaten the fucking Autobot that can erase your mind whenever he wants. Like that's dumb on Prowl's part. And I don't think, like,
Prowl
seems kind of dumb.
Exclusively makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
All right, shift once more to another memory. This time on the Lost Light, we learned that Brainstorm, Drift, and Chrome Dome, and the Duobots who died in the first two issues all knew about Overlord being on the ship. To keep this a secret, Drift and Brainstorm have been keeping tabs on anyone who mentioned Overlord by name. So if you remember, Red Alert knew about Overlord, didn't end up so good for him, but
All right.
we saw how that ended. Additionally, Drift explains that Overlord's cell is a slow room, and that for every 5 seconds that pass in the room, 30 minutes pass on the rest of the ship, giving them enough time to respond if Overlord tries to escape.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in the same memory, Chrome Dome has showed the password to get in and out of that room, meaning Overlord now has that too.
Yeah.
And with that, Overlord wakes up and breaks free from his restraints.
I love this panel. It's so good.
That's
This
good.
panel goes kind of hard.
Yeah.
That's good. Hold on. I gotta change the thumbnail for this video. They look so sick. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how I missed this.
Maybe if you actually read the stuff you were reading.
Oh, I scrolled through the issues before I started so I could get a good thumbnail image. I missed this one, but you know, I'll change it. Don't worry about it.
All right. So Overlord tells Chrome Dome he basically gave him the will to live since he now knows Megatron is still alive, and Overlord has like supreme daddy issues where he wants to fight his dad, you know?
Right.
Additionally, he says Chrome Dome can try chasing him after him and raising the alarm. It should only take him about 5 seconds to leave the room and to run as fast as he can, but he's already too late. End of issue 14.
Oh, it's so good. I love the like memory battle between Chrome Dome and oh my god, I already forgot this guy. I'm looking at him. Help me.
Overlord.
Overlord, thank you.
I didn't even read, Matt. Come on.
I love that memory battle. It's so much fun. That like twist or whatever where Overlord's like, yeah, I'm in your brain now. He's like, I'm not as good as you are at this, but I'm good enough. And then he gets the password and he gets out, and it's so good. I love this issue. I think this is my favorite issue that we read for today.
I also love the like threat he ends it on. He's like, you can stop me. It's just gonna take you too long to do anything about it.
Yeah, by the time you get to me, I'll kill all your friends. It's great.
He's that type of villain.
You didn't mention this because it literally doesn't matter, but we briefly see Starscream in this issue. We hadn't seen him before, and it's great to see my boy. He looks amazing.
Why are you a Starscream fan?
I love Starscream because he's just a little dickhead.
He's a shit. He's a little shit.
He's a whiny little clown, and people love him for it.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I can't stand Starscream.
And he's constantly like, I can't wait to overthrow Megatron. Yeah. Like, what do you say? He goes, I love you.
I love you. Yeah. That's all he does, and it's hilarious.
I like Starscream as a concept, and then I see him on screen or on panel or whatever. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you know.
And I think he's great.
I will read the rest of it because I only read like the first half of it, and I thought that was really cool. But like, nah. Overlord kind of hard though. I didn't like he kind of goes hard. That's a really good twist. That like he's been controlling Chrome Dome. He's playing the mind game to the person who specializes in mind games. That's hilarious. It's great. It's cool. But yeah, no, it was a good issue. And again, Alex Mone's art. For something like this man's improving. That Megatron page is so even though like that page of like freaking what's his face Overlord. Like I think it was like attacking Chrome Dome. That page is good, but that Megatron page is I love the way Megatron is drawn in that. It looks so good. Yeah. Like it's good shit. Well, Rebecca, we will see Megatron eventually in the series, or is he in another one?
We will see him in this series eventually.
Sick. Cool. Okay, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see my boy turn into a fucking gun. I can't wait. That's the highlight of this. That's the highlight of the podcast. The moment Megatron turns into a gun in an issue, and I'm gonna lose my mind because I love that. But yeah,
we're just. I'm sorry. Do you mind? This issue made Ultra Magnus my favorite villain we've had so far. But it was also really cool to see Pharma again, and I can't wait to see him in the present timeline again. I'm waiting for him to come back.
Honestly, anyway. I forgot about Pharma, but it's fine.
I'm thinking about Pharma. He's Ratchet's nemesis.
I know he's Ratchet's villain, but like it's just I just forgot about him for a quick second.
He's in the issue for like 1 page, so it's not like he's that important.
But granted, every time I see this man, I'm like, oh my god, it's Ratchet. Oh wait, no, it's the guy who looks exactly like Ratchet. His villain looks exactly like him. So
his evil twin.
The anti-Ratchet.
Anti-Ratchet. That's what we should. That's his nickname now. Anti-Ratchet. There we go. Okay.
All right. Are we ready for the next issue?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, why so excited, Matt? Okay, hold on. What's in this issue that's kind of okay? Why the fact that Matt got so excited there means this issue's probably baller, and now I feel even more bad.
Should have done the reading. Ooh.
I feel so much more bad. I feel so much more bad for not reading it. Shit. Okay, let's go. Enough about that. Let's go.
All right. So we pick up right where we left off last issue with Chrome Dome running out of the room, but as mentioned, he's already too late.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw this page. And I use that as a backup thumbnail. I think this page is so well done. I love it a lot. Milne kills it. This is also Milne. Yeah, Milne.
Yeah. I feel like there's almost like too much going on to like. But
that's
cool.
That's why I ended up not using it as a thumbnail. Is because when I made it, it looked extremely busy, and I was like, you know what? Nah, this ain't it. But like seeing how intricate each one is and like what the scale was going on, I thought was really well done. So. Yeah.
So back up 30 minutes, Whirl is using the ship's guns to blow up asteroids, and Pipes gives Blaster, who's this red guy who's not really that important, a message to pass on to a friend of his that's like, almost died twice, but I'm having a lot of fun here. Bye. Unfortunately for poor Pipes, as he's leaving the area, he quite literally runs into Overlord, who promptly stomps him.
Bro, he gave him the goddamn boot. That is hilarious.
It is brutal.
I did skim over this one. I saw that. I was like, wow, poor Pipes, bro. Like, even though, listen, this is like the second time he's like fucked with a big Transformer because Fort Max was the first one and he almost fucking killed him. So.
Yeah, and this time he does bite it, and I don't know. Are you gonna talk about the next page?
Yeah.
Okay.
So crushed and unable to speak, Pipe's spark is about to explode, but he's able to hit the alarm. And as is with the rule of threes, Pipes does not make it out of this one and dies as the ship's alarms go off.
Yeah, and like you see his thoughts, and he's very clearly dying, and it's so dark. This entire page is so dark.
Makes you feel bad for a character you don't care about.
Yeah, really. Like we never cared about this guy, but like, yeah, but they do a good job of making us feel for him a little bit.
All right, time for a quick check-in with our other characters and what they were doing at this time. Rewind is looking for Chrome Dome in Bramestorm's lab. Swerve is also there. Preceptor, who is this guy, is explaining to Rodimus that they can't make copies of the map that they have to lead them to the Knights of Cybertron. Fort Max apologizes for wrong and is forgiven. And Skids warns Tailgate that Cyclonus is ready to kill him after finding out they're hosting movie night tonight. And then the alarms go off. Over in the med bay, Ratchet's like, hey, anyone know why the alarm's going off? Never mind, and shoots Overlord in the face, which is fucking awesome. And because he's awesome, Ratchet's like, I'm gonna do my best to kill you.
It's a really badass moment.
Yeah, I really like Ratchet.
Yeah, me too.
Then Drift shows up to help Ratchet fight, but as reinforcements arrive, the two are already in pretty bad shape, as we see in the background of this panel. Ultra Magnus tries to take Overlord down and says he should have taken out years ago, but Overlord laughs. According to Overlord, Magnus is putting his all into this fight, but he's been holding back, and then he stabs a hole right through Magnus's chest.
Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ. Man. Wait a minute. Hold on. Rewind. No. I thought something, but it's probably not relevant, so we'll just continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, things are not looking so good and chaos is ensuing. Magnus is dying. Drift is trying to contact the brig. Chrome Dome and Rewind reunite. Rodimus tries to jump Overlord, but doesn't even get a punch in before being caught. So Overlord is about to kill Rodimus and asks his final words. Any guesses what they might be?
Mikey, you haven't read this, right? You guess.
You want me to guess?
Yeah,
I'm sure
what do you
can.
think his last words are?
Is it all for one or something like that? Like
close enough. It's till all or one.
Yeah. Because remember, that's the thing he always fucking says.
Yeah. So strangely enough, this phrase stops Overlord momentarily, giving enough time for Fort Max to get there and blast him.
Fort Max, the Dwayne The Rock Johnson of Transformers. Let's go.
Yeah, Fort Max is fucking cool.
Yeah,
As Fort Max gives Overlord the beating he deserves, Chrome Dome explains that when he was in Overlord's memories, he planted the Tiller 1 phrase. Since Overlord has a fear of defeat, every time Megatron would beat him in a memory, he'd say that phrase. However, this trick can only work one time before Overlord figures out what's happening there.
Okay.
With that option out, Chrome Dome comes up with a backup plan. He has Fort Max punch, throw, and kick Overlord back into his cell and figure if the cell could be attached to the ship in the first place, then it could also be detached. As this is happening, Rewind is pissed because Chrome Dome unleashed a killer on the ship and doing the one activity he said he wasn't going to do anymore.
Yeah.
As they try to shut the cell, the door gets jammed by Overlord's sword, and since they don't have a lot of time and he's tiny, Rewind jumps in to unblock it despite knowing he won't be able to unlock the cell. Chrome Dome begs Rewind not to do this, but he does, closing the door and accidentally cutting off Chrome Dome's arm in the process. Trapped in the cell with Overlord, the two can only look at each other before the cell is detached. Knowing there's only one thing he can do now, Chrome Dome runs up to the bridge and uses the ship's gun to blow up the cell, killing Overlord and Rewind. The end.
Wow.
it's so sad.
The
Then
fuck? Jesus. I'm sorry. I didn't expect that.
And then on the character page, Ultra Magnus, Pipes, and Rewind are all crossed out.
Wow.
At the end of every issue, there's like a character summary page.
I read this from the trade, so I didn't see that for this one.
Oh yeah, when you read it on I have it on Comixology. So yeah, it's they're crossed out here. Yeah, I didn't notice that at the end when I was flipping through it. Damn, that's sad. Wow, man. That I didn't expect that shit at all. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Look at
I
him.
like that this issue is like very like action packed though. Like you keep flipping through the pages because you're like, what's gonna happen next? You know?
It's very tense.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Overlord fighting every single character all at the same time on his own is so cool.
Yeah, Overlord's a cool villain in this.
Nah, he's sturdy. He's a sturdy dude. It's just too much. It's like because like I didn't really read it. I just skimmed through it, but like I was so happy just to see Fort Max again. I was just like, it's fucking Fort Max about to fuck this dude up. Let's go. The Dwayne The Rock Johnson of Cybertron is about to fuck this man up. I was like, let's go. I was so happy to see him back because I forget where he was the last time because after he went crazy. Like I just don't. Like where was he last time? Like after he went crazy, where did they put him?
They just put him in the brig, which is like
with the other Decepticons. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, he did shoot some people on the ship.
I mean, listen. No one cared about Pipes, so it's fine. But like, you know,
well, Rum was kind of definitely his fault.
He was.
Even if Swerve pulled the trigger.
It was actually Swerve's fault. But nah, yeah. I thought this was a really cool issue from what I skimmed over. Love the artwork, love the action. Does a really good job. That page of Overlord punching Ultra Magnus in the chest is fucking just that's when I was like, okay, like
didn't he stab him? Didn't he do him like Bullseye did Elektra?
Yeah, I see a blade.
Yeah, it looks like in the page here there's like a sword or something coming out.
Yeah, so, it would. Okay, honestly, it would have been. What if it was more hardcore? If we just like should have just punched him through instead? That'd be
cool.
Yeah, I agree. But the sword's only here, so we get our dramatic moment at the end. You know.
Yes, it does almost look like an homage to the Elektra thing, though. It's
no, I could definitely see that for sure. Yeah, even like from the way it's angled, yeah, it makes sense.
But it's awesome. I love this panel and. Fuck my man, Magnus, man.
Okay, what the reason why I kind of paused for a second, and I don't even know if this is like spoiling ahead of like the next issue, is because I remember
you didn't read.
Yeah, from the next issue that I didn't read. I don't know, but like I remember last volume. I think it was last volume. Whatever volume Grimlock was in. Yeah, I think it was last volume. I think
2 volumes ago.
2 volumes ago. It was that freaking like that Cybertronian like not Boogeyman, but like it's like that person that records
Grim Reaper guy.
the Grim Reaper. I don't remember if Ultra Magnus's name was on there or not.
His name was on the list.
Okay.
So sad. I had a quick question. I just remembered something.
Yes.
I don't think it was this issue. It might have been last issue actually. The green thing and the guy. They found a green thing and it was like 0.1%, and then a guy came and was like, "You can have whatever form you want."
Yeah.
Has that become relevant?
The green thing is Overlord.
Oh,
what?
Like that was they put the thing in the body and then you come to life, I guess, you know?
Oh.
And that's okay, and that's why he's so strong. That's why he's like a
yes, that's why he's like
sixer, even though he's not actually a phase sixer. I think it's the term they kept using.
Yeah.
Phase 6.
So wait,
he's just a really strong guy.
If this guy, okay, so if this dude, right? If this dude is hella strong with this green all spark shit, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck do Megatron got that? Because that Megatron, he's scared of Megatron. Like, you know, like
I think Megatron's like special, but he's not like as special, you know.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, no, this issue is I'm actually looking forward to reading it this time because this is a lot of shit that's happening here. And it takes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fucking Autobots to fucking fight this dude. Like it's ridiculous. Like,
they can't even kill them. Their best plan is just get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
he's definitely my favorite villain we've seen so far. He's so great.
No, I can definitely see why you would love him so much, and also just rip to those 3 Autobots that died, man. That's fucking that's so sad with Chrome Dome. Like you can look at him, he's like devastated. It's so sad. Like, poor boy.
Yeah. Let's talk more about that and move on to our next.
Yeah, let's stop talking. Let's go to the last one. Last one? Yeah,
right.
last one. Yeah.
Issue 16.
Okay, pause.
Also a different artist here.
Pause. I was upset I didn't read this one because I love the artwork in it. I think Padilla is my favorite artist out of all the artists I've introduced in this series so far. I love the way it looks a lot. I don't know why. I think because this one seems more Matt. Would you describe this type of style more kind of like instead of like cartoon-esque like the Vacation one was? It was kind of more manga in a way. I think it's more manga-y. Like
I understand what you mean. I don't entirely agree, but I understand I understand, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's more manga. If you've ever seen like Joe Madureira's artwork, it kind of seems like that similar style. I don't know why, but I like it a lot. Continue. Yeah.
Okay. So we begin issue 16 with a montage of Ultra Magnus seemingly dying. These incidents include being shot by Megatron. Unfortunately, I don't have the panel, but he was a gunning when he did that.
Fucking hell, Rebecca! Come on!
You gotta read the issue.
Well, like you gotta make the people see it. Like
next time.
The panel where he's a gun and has a speech bubble, which is a talking gun, is great.
Oh my god, I see it! Oh, it's so cool. So stupid.
Anyway, those include being shot by Megatron, hit by a bomb, and blasted by a Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to present day. Magnus is in the med bay being looked at by Ratchet. Tailgate and Swerve are keeping him company as well. Swerve asks about the red light shining on Magnus here. Drift, who's lying on a different table, missing his legs in the background, interjects that it's a death clock. Essentially, for terminally ill patients, it shows how many days they have left down to the second, but for healthy people, it doesn't show anything. From this reading, we see Ultra Magnus has only about 10 days to live. This freaks out Tailgate because everyone's being kind of casual about their crewmate dying and not really being able to do anything about it. Next, we hear Rodimus announce that he's going to investigate how Overlord got onto the ship, and we switch scenes to Chrome Dome on the ship's roof. Skids comes along and he's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? I know your partner just died, so that can't be easy, but I'm here to talk with if you want." And Chrome Dome's like, "I'm fine." And then Skids is just kind of like, "Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go then." And that's the end of the scene.
He's like, "I did my job. I asked for. I was giving you reassurance. I'm gonna leave now."
He did the bare minimum. Back with Rodimus in typical frat boy style. He's punching holes in the wall of his office. As he explains to Wrong, he's really upset about Magnus being down and misses all his stupid memos. Wrong says he's actually angry about something else. Rodimus says it's because he failed his crew, but Rung says no, it's because you weren't the one who defeated Overlord and got him off the ship. And this really strikes a nerve. But as Rung leaves, we see Drift also come into the office. Scene changes again to the funeral for all the people who died in the Overlord incident. Swerve notices Brainstorm brought his briefcase to the funeral and tells Skiz he's going to look inside of it even if it kills him. Rodimus gives a speech and points out that Rewind is the reason everyone's still alive and gives him, Fort Max, and Chrome Dome credit for saving the day. Then Chrome Dome gets called up to say a few words, and literally the panels I have here are all that he has to say. And with that, the ceremony's over and the coffins are ejected from the ship. Later on, Brainstorm comes by Chrome Dome's cabin and says he's going through Rewind's things, and Brainstorm's like, hey, I know you're hurting, but erasing every memory you have of your loved one isn't the coping mechanism you think it is. And I know this because you've already done it on 3 other occasions. But if you forget Rewind, then he really will be dead. So Chrome Dome's like, you know what? You're so right, King. I'm definitely not going to do that. And Brainstorm's like, interesting you said that, because you've also told me that twice before, and when we've had this conversation. But I'm going to leave you alone now for some reason. Also, here's a flash drive that Rewind threw out of the ship before it closed in the last issue. Elsewhere on the shift, Drift admitted to everything and is taking the fall for Overlord being on board. As punishment, he gets stripped of his Autobot badge and is kicked off the ship to eventually go be in his own mini-series down the road.
Oh, I'm about to say, oh, fuck that. I was like, he's about to be kicked off. He's going to do more drugs again. Like, God damn it.
You got no faith in him.
No. Listen, Drift is my boy. He's my favorite. But, like, I was a little worried. I don't want him to get back on the sauce. You know what I mean? I love my boy. But wait, does that mean we're going to read the fucking miniseries, like, next week, please?
When it's not next. When we eventually get to where it would be, we can add it.
Yay. All
right. Next, we see what was on Rewind's flash drive. It's a message made from various clips he recorded over the years. I'm going to repeat part of it here. It says, I've been terrified that you died before I did because you and me apart strikes me as intensely wrong. So promise me something. Be brave, be strong, and keep going without me. One last thing, because I don't say it enough. I love you. And that's the end of the recording. And with that, we see Chrome Dome put his needles away. Like I said, I skipped over some of that, but also during the sequence, we see Drift getting exiled off the ship and having stuff thrown at him, and as he leaves, Ratchet also helps him back up. Finally, we end this issue back in the med bay. Ultra Magnus's body is gone, possibly stolen, and as he's looking around the hospital bed, Tailgate realizes he's giving off a reading on the death clock. End of issue 16 and end of volume 4.
Wait, who's giving a reading off the death clock? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Tailgate is.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Tailgate's got 3 days.
Yeah.
Tailgate's got 3 days.
3 days. You can do a lot in 3 days.
Oh my god, this book.
But why?
I guess that's the question, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, okay, what? Like, oh, maybe I don't know. He is old, so
it's almost like you got to read to see what happens next.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! Yeah.
Do you know if the clock magic, magic? Like, is it like something's medically wrong with him? He'll die in 3 days, or is it the clock knows in 3 days that he'll die, even if it's like, I don't know.
They gave their like sci-fi explanation of it, but yeah, it basically knows like this is when your heart's gonna stop.
Even if it's stopped by a sword?
No, it's like for terminally ill patients.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 3 days is okay. So it does mean
something is wrong with him. He's dying of some medical thing that's going to kill him in 3 days.
That's my question. If it's medical or fate. Okay, got it.
And it can't be undone. Like, there's no way.
Well, they said they might be able to like add a few days if like treatment's working, but
okay.
It's not your odds aren't that great for that.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, okay, that's fair. Does it really affect me that much? Like, nah. I mean, he's a simp, so it's okay. I'm good. But nah. Well, I'll say this like Matt. Well, I'll say this before Matt speaks. But like, this issue seems cool. I'm gonna read it. I love the art in it. I don't know. I think Padilla might be my favorite artist out of them all. I love the way he draws the Transformers. They actually look distinct. Like I can tell them all apart. Like it's great. But also question, all right? Drift related question.
Okay.
Is Drift just taking the fall for it out of like honor or whatever? Because like it's Chrome Dome. Chrome Dome was the one, right? He was the one.
I get. Well, him and Brainstorm too know about it, so
okay.
I think the implication is Drift is gonna like volunteering to be the fall guy for it.
Oh come on, bro. Drift, man. I still love you, but it's just come on.
Because, like, he knew about Overlord and didn't tell anyone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So I understand why he feels like he needs to take the fall here.
Yeah.
And you said Brainstorm also knew, but who's Brainstorm?
Yeah, exactly. Brainstorm's irrelevant. Just have him take the fall for it.
Well, yeah, but that wouldn't be a very interesting.
I guess. Yeah. It wouldn't make.
I literally don't know who Brainstorm is. I don't know what color he is. I don't know which
He's
robot
the
he
blue
is.
guy, and he also has some orange.
Blue and orange.
Blue and orange. Okay.
All right.
Hold on.
But I also
this guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen him before.
What does he do? Like, does he do anything?
he like makes weapons.
But why is he called? Because he makes weapons. Okay, there we go. He makes ideas, and then makes them into weapons. He's a creative person. All right, that makes sense.
I'm glad you puzzled that out.
Yeah. But oh shit, we have a comment. I didn't even notice this. Oh shit, Mr. Brooks. Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Thanks, Mr. Brooks. We appreciate it. I do like the fact that when Drift's being exiled and it's like Ratchet's the one that like lifts him up, because Ratchet's the one that believed in him since from his Fiend days, and I love that. It's so sweet. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he literally was like talking. Remember when like he brought Optimus brought him to Ratchet, and then Ratchet was
like, you could be something one day.
Yeah, he's like you're special. Like you can turn your life around. Like he believed in them, and even now, even when he's exiled, he still believes in them. I was like, that's fucking sweet, man. It's good.
That's
shit.
really cool. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Ratchet's great. I love Ratchet.
Ratchet's nice. I love Ratchet. He's great. Yeah, he's like the nice uncle or like the nice grandpa. Know what I mean? I don't know how old Ratchet is, but he gives off grandpa uncle vibes.
He acts like he's ancient.
Yeah, but like he's not like Tailgate or Cyclonus ancient, so
he's just got like that old man mentality.
Yeah, I think it's just like when I read Ratchet in my head, it's the voice actor from Transformers animated, and he's an old guy in that. So like that's why I get those vibes.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's a good issue. I love it. And I hope Padilla's an artist for the next couple issues, because I love it so much. I love his artwork.
Yeah. I think it's just this one issue also, but
oh, God damn it. Come on.
That makes sense.
I do like this scene I have on the screen there where it's like really emotional. I thought that was like sad, but like in a good way, you know?
Yeah, that freaking Chrome Dome, man. It's just that I didn't expect the whole Chrome Dome and like Rewind relationship to be this deep and like this emotional. Like I was like, damn, son. Like
I didn't even realize they were space married until
I didn't notice either until that issue they addressed it.
Yeah, I feel like they could set it up better, because I feel like most of the issues they just kind of like bicker, and it's not till like they're about to. It's like, oh, I care about you.
Right.
But in this issue where like he's literally like the way he's dealing with his death is to forget that he existed, which is like not healthy, and it's just like, damn, like they're really pulling the strings on this shit. Like they're actually like having themes of grief and like ways of unhealthy and healthy ways of dealing with grief in this fucking issue. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is too much. It's too much, man. It's too much. I can't. It's too much.
Yeah, Chrome Dome's really interesting. I think he has kind of always been interesting, but I never cared about Chrome Dome. I never
because he wasn't Rodimus or like.
I feel like he's not quite likable enough that he sticks out, but like there's some interesting stuff there.
Okay.
Yeah, there really is.
But question for future issues: does Chrome Dome ever get his arm back? And if not, is it because of punishment for what he did?
No, I think he gets it back.
Oh, come on, it'd be hilarious if, like, as punishment, we will never give you another arm. Like, it would be so funny.
I mean, I don't think anyone else knows that like he was involved with Overlord being there outside of like Drift and Brainstorm.
I think he gets. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell if he gets it back in this issue or if just the art is messed up in one panel.
Oh, I don't know.
I think the art might just be messed up because I think there are like a couple like mistakes in here.
Okay.
Which happens. Sports is normal.
Yeah. No, it's an easy mistake to make, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Especially when drawing Max. Jesus Christ. But like, also a little less Rodimus in this issue, but I mean it's fine because everything around him was great. But like, I love the fact that like when you mentioned that like like Rodimus isn't really mad because of like what happened. He's mad just because he's petty because he just didn't get a chance to defeat Overlord. You know that because he's Optimus. He's one of Optimus's kids or whatever. Like
Yeah, I feel like it hurts for that he couldn't even like hit him. He like immediately gets.
He literally gets choked. He literally gets choked out, and it's hilarious. But
yeah. I loved that scene. He was talking with Rung, I think.
Yeah, and Rung immediately knew because he's a psychiatrist. Like he immediately fucking called him out on it, which I thought was great.
And like I don't care about Rung. I kind of don't like Rung. But this scene's great.
He's fine. He's there.
He's there. Like obviously, the best Rung moment in this fucking series is when he gets his brains blown out by Swerve. Like it's. But no, I love the fact that like he's a psychiatrist, so like he immediately called Rodimus out on his shit. I was like, that's great. Check the
guy. Because that's what he can facilitate these moments for where Rodimus can talk about his motivations and what drives him. We can through Rung get a better picture of who Rodimus is. I think that's really cool. I don't care about Rung himself. I care about Rodimus.
But we all know
even though he's like one of the main characters, if not the main character, Rodimus kind of just gets shit on throughout this whole comic.
I mean,
yeah.
But like we already know what his motivation is, which is making Daddy Optimus happy. So like that's it. Like so
right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this issue was good. That's my final thoughts on this issue. I think it's really cool, and it's good stuff. There's a lot of good themes in this.
It's exactly what you need after the disaster that was last issue. It slows down and it takes some time to see how people are feeling about stuff, and it's great.
The pacing in this is really well done in terms of that context. So
the pacing of this entire arc was really good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
No, I agree. There's never quite a dull moment.
No.
Yep.
All right. Do we want to do final thoughts for the volume then?
Facts. Matt, you go. You seem like you have something to say already.
Oh well, I think this is my favorite arc so far. In fact, I know my favorite arc so far. Overlord is just such a fantastic villain. He's so great. And I found myself caring about Chrome Dome. I think this arc has made me care about characters that previously I didn't care about and didn't think I was going to care about, and that's neat. I like that's good writing. That's what that is. Yeah, I love this arc. I guess that's all I've got. There was a moment, real quick. There was a moment in one of these issues, I don't remember which one it was, where Swerve has a fourth wall bomb.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it had any like really relevance on the plot, which is probably why we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I think it was in one of the issues Mikey didn't read.
Okay, fair enough. That's probably why I didn't notice it. But listen, if they're gonna do fourth wall breaks with Swerve, I'm down for it because he seems like a character that would do that. Even Whirl, either of those two characters, I would be fine with fourth wall breaks.
It was great. There was this moment where he was like, "Oh, I think it happened off panel," and someone else goes, "What does that mean?" He goes, "I don't know." It's great.
That's funny.
Anyway, I love this arc. I thought great.
All right, so for me, for what I did read of this arc, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of really good moments in it. There's a lot of very dark moments in it that I was like, oh shit, I didn't expect to see this in a Transformers book. Swerve is again submitted as one of my favorite characters that's not Drift, as well as Whirl. They're fucking crackheads, and I love it. Again, shoots himself in the fucking face because Swerve doesn't miss. It's hilarious. From what I've read of Overlord from like that, from the third issue that we read, I only read half of it, but like I thought that was really cool stuff. Dude, he's fucking again. I'm trying to give. What can I compare Overlord to? Like, what's a pop culture reference I can compare Overlord to? Like of how fucking ridiculously overpowered this character is. Like, I just think it's. I don't know. He seemed really dope. Like, he punched this man in the chest. No, he stabbed. When the moment he stabbed this man in the fucking chest, I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like, it's so good, so cool. But yeah, I this will probably be my favorite arc when I finish reading it. So there's that. And I do hope to see more. Like, yeah, we're gonna have some really like serious, action-packed or like very intense, dark moments in issues. But I also would like some more like break issues where it's like a little lighthearted, like that vacation run that was so much fun. So
yeah. Like I said before, I really like this volume. It's one of my favorite volumes in the book. I think it's a good balance of like fun and like melodrama.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, it kind of sets a good like tone for the book in terms of like we can do fun, but we're also going to do like more serious stuff too, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like it. I like it, and I will probably love it when I'm finished with it. So yeah.
So speaking of going forward, what is next?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay, yeah.
Let me put the slide back up. Yeah.
All right. So next episode is volume 5. That does not cover the annual. I just forgot to backspace when I did these slides. But that covers issues 17 through 22. Okay. I said we're going to do it on Tuesday, November 1st. Right. Probably not at 7, probably at 7:30. That's the day after Halloween. So that might change depending on how busy everyone is.
That's true. That is true. I will say this though. I peeped that cover while I was prepping for this. That cover is ridiculously good. I think I feel like it's a reference to something because we've seen poses like that before in things. I don't know. He-Man comes to mind. I don't know why, but that's what pops up in my head, or Tron. I don't know. One of the or. But I'm excited to get into it, and I think the artist is still Milne. All right, I thought the artist would change, but it's not. It's okay.
No, I think Milne's like the main artist, and then other people just like fill in for him from time to time.
Listen, as long as he's improving, that's all that matters. That's all I care about. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it for sure. When I reading it entirely this time, like call me out on it. I will. This time. Okay, I promise you I will. But yeah, it's good stuff. Alrighty, so is that it? Should we do the outro? I guess.
Yeah, I think that's it for today.
Cool. All right, so thanks for the people that are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it. Be on the lookout for when we do the next volume. In the next 2 weeks. So now obviously that will depend on how busy everyone is during that during after Halloween. So that's gonna we'll give updates and stuff. We'll try to get an update. We can't really give updates, but because we're not, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll do whatever we do it. Also tune in next week. I think me and Rebecca have talked about this, but we're gonna do a spooky special one and done next week and when I find out a book to do. But I got some ideas. I got some picks.
We got a comment, by the way.
Oh shit! Who is this? Brandon. Brandon, yo! I missed this man. I hope you're doing well, Brandon. Thanks for tuning in, my guy. We appreciate it. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that next week. Also, Matt, I believe we're gonna be doing Sex Criminals again somewhat soon. So, yeah. So that be on the lookout for that episode when that drops. Also, thanks for everyone who watched the last clip that was posted last week about I think it was a Transformers clip. It blew up like crazy. It has like, I believe, let me check. Let me look how many views it has because I think it's around like 1.7K. Yeah, 1,733 views with 77 likes, and it grew our channel to almost 50. Yeah, 50. We almost have 50, Matt. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, you can't believe it, Matt. Yeah. So thank you for people that decided to subscribe to us. We appreciate it. So we're be on the lookout for more content. Comment, like, subscribe on this video. Also ring the bell because we have a bell. I always forget we have a bell. So it will notify you on all of our videos that drop. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. So without further ado, people, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And get on safe. All right, bye-bye, everyone. We're